have the most variety in the game. So these units are basically DLC, meaning you can't have them unless you buy downloadable content for the game. You can look up DLC Shogun 2 and you'll understand. So spear units used mainly to attack enemy cavalry. So attack or defend enemy cav. That's their main purpose. But your strategy can use these guys for all sorts of things. You know, it isn't rigid. You don't have to use them against cavalry. You know, you can use them to occupy or flank the enemy in some sort of way. You can use them to absorb damage. That would be called using a meat shield. And you know, they have different purposes, and each unit has different abilities, different things it can do, different strengths and weaknesses, and those are somewhat reflected by their cost. As you see, this says 855, this one says 712, this one says 665, and this one says 332. They're basically, you have a certain amount of money that you can spend during a battle, so you can't basically have 5 million of the same unit, basically. There's a limit to how many units you can bring into battle, as shown here. You can only bring this amount of units into battle, no matter what, so, and you can only spend so much on your army. By the way, this, as you see, I highlighted it, it says this unit has skill points to spend. So let's do this in real time now. I'm going to decide to upgrade fatigue resistance. And that'll mean my unit stays fresher in battle for longer. But that's also going to increase its cost as well, to balance. In Shogun, different people say different things, but I think the game is relatively well balanced. I don't think necessarily any one unit is too overpowered, and any one unit is too underpowered. But there are units that are somewhat overpowered, somewhat underpowered. So, yeah. Different strategies use different units differently, though. You know, nobody's strategy is exactly the same. So, you know, you might want to use mostly spear infantry, you might want to use mostly swords, you might want to use mostly cav, you might want to use mostly bows. Bows, pretty self-explanatory. Different units have different stats, as always, and these are used to pepper the arrow with missiles. Missiles, of course, being arrows, not actual missiles that are going to explode in space, but that'd be actually pretty cool. As you see, this one costs 950, 712. Different prices, different stats. So better units tend to cost more. Cavalry, they are used to basically combat anything but spear units. Also shooting, charging them straight at one of these matchlocks. Matchlocks are just units with guns, basically. And they can do different things. They have a devastating effect on morale, and they can kill a lot of people in a volley. But they're very vulnerable to anybody who wants to attack them. And, you know, any arrows that they take, they'll take a lot of arrow damage. They'll take, you know, they can't do much melee. And, they'll get pwned by any cav, if those cav can reach you before you shoot off a volley at them. They can be very devastating units, but they also have some major weaknesses. As I was saying, cavalry can be used to charge into swords and bows and firearms and stealth and siege units. So, you know, there's a good balance between cav and spears. So, you know, cav, pretty self-explanatory there. Just don't charge them into a hail of spears, and you'll basically be okay. Cav are very effective units, and they are very fast, of course, since they're on horseback, and can, you know, different strategies can use them to scare enemies, attack enemies, whatever. So, they're good units, very good units. There's special units like the Kisho Ninja, And he can do things like stealth, which just means that he can run in plain sight but still stay hidden. A very effective unit. As I said, they do different things. So hopefully I covered the basics of Shogun. Hopefully you'll learn some things from this game. I mean this video. And I hope you have fun. Oh, I also didn't explain this really, but this is just basically where you are on the leaderboards. Pretty self-explanatory, basically. See their win ratios, streaks, etc. That's pretty cool. So I didn't go over multiplayer campaign, so let me go there just real quick. This is probably like part 2 or 3 by now, so sorry this is taking so long, but hopefully this covers a whole aspect of the game for you. You can host a campaign, you can save while you're in that campaign, and then you can resume that game. You can join someone else's campaign, or you can host your own and play with your friends and etc. So one of the people, one of the other players on the map is actually a real human player that you might know, you know. So that's pretty cool. So I think I went over the whole game basically. I mean, there's plenty more to talk about, but I'm just going over the just dirt basics here. It'd be probably a good idea if you're a new player to do some of these tutorials, which will help you very much. So yeah, I hope you have fun on the world of Shogun, and I will see you later.